All right, how's about we try this again? So you are looking at, no blue, this is ridiculous. Every time I sit down, somebody wants to be in my lap. You are looking at Hyacinth. She is a 50-inch square painting on canvas. And I just signed her today. So I want to talk a little bit about how do you know when a painting is done. And for me, sometimes it's really obvious a piece is done, and sometimes it's not so obvious. And I just have to let it go. And this piece, I feel like it's not so obvious because I have so enjoyed the process of creating her, and I've gotten so lost inside the space of this painting and in my own little creative zone that I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave that feeling or that space, that mental space. And as such, I feel like I could have been enticed to overwork her. I noticed that I was making marks that were very small and didn't make much of a change in the piece overall. And that's also another signal to me that I've said what I needed to say, or at least what I have to say at this particular moment. But, you know, how do you know when a piece is done? Well, is your story being told? Is the storyline as clear and direct as it could be? Is the piece visually balanced? Is your eye going to the focal point? Are there any areas in the painting that are not supporting the whole overall piece? Those are some of the things, you know, that you can look at. I mean, the list could go on forever and ever. Does the piece look just as intriguing from across the room as it does up close? That's always another one. I really like to reward my viewers for coming in closer to a piece. I want to give them a thank you for engaging. So I'm gonna come in closer to this piece and sort of give you more detail. There's pencil lines, charcoal lines, painted lines, scratched lines. There are some neocolors in here. I think I mentioned before that I was gonna try them out. I don't think I really spent as much time paying attention to what they could do as I might have, because I was so caught up in the whole of this piece. So I'm going to continue to play with the neocolors in the next one, and I'll give you a report on those. I think I probably had the most fun doing this passage right here. And I'm hoping that shows. One thing new that I did with this piece that was surprisingly fulfilling was in the very early stages when I just had her chalked in. I did some spilling, which is sort of a stream of consciousness writing. You'll see some text up here. And I believe there is some remaining visible over here. Right down here. And there's also little bits and pieces, telltale pieces of it throughout the painting. But I used water-soluble Derwent Inktense pencils, and I simply started spilling, sort of like writing my morning pages. Oh, I can't, my chair's caught here, hold on. Sort of like writing morning pages where you just start with an idea and you keep on going. I did that a number of times with this painting. I also rotated it and wrote in different orientations with different colored pencils, different sorts of tools. I really like the how intriguing the marks feel. So here you have it, Hyacinth. How about if I should go in from the side too and I can show you. So I do paint around the edges, and I think I'm gonna put a little bit more detail, but I want you to see how I do wrap the image around the edge of the painting. And that way, if it goes into a space without an actual frame on it, it still has some substance. It feels finished. And again, there's just that little sliver of intrigue around the perimeter of the piece that draws the viewer in. Thank you so much for being here, being a part of the Patreon, for following along with my work. I'm really glad that I'm able to share it with you. Stay tuned, and there's going to be a little slideshow of the in-process pictures that I took, okay?